Well, hello, everybody. We would love to welcome you again to another Real Women Atlanta radio show. We are excited to have you participate and be a part of our show today. We have got an amazing show. If you thought last Saturday was great, wait until you meet our new guest for today. Her name is Miss Wendy McGee. And of course, my co-host is Deidre Gary, and Deidre is going to come in and say hello to everybody, and then we're going to introduce to you Miss Wendy McGee. Deidre.
Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to Real Women Atlanta Talk Show on today. We are excited that you are here with us, joining us another Saturday. This is our third show, and oh my God, the journey has been absolutely amazing. We have had some one in a million guests already, and then here we are today with Wendy McGee. Now, I know you guys last week, you heard me call our other guest Auntie, but today I'll be calling this guest cousin, because she's definitely my cousin. Of course, I know you guys are like, oh gosh, everybody's Beatrice family. No. Let's not make that mistake, okay? But Wendy is here. She has done some amazing things within her life, within her career. And she'll be able to talk with you today concerning some of those wonderful things. And one major key component is Wendy on Wealth. How many times have we, heard or didn't know exactly what to do, how to do with our money and what places to put it in, or even, the discipline that's needed in order for us to grow individually, within our families and as a community. And Wendy is here today to give us just that. So welcome my cousin, Wendy McGee.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you all this wonderful Saturday?
Doing great.
We are doing fantastic, especially now to have you on our show.
Yes.
You know what? I am very, very excited to be here, and I am going to switch cameras on you guys so that I'm not looking at an angle. So there we go.
Okay.
But thank you for having me, and I look forward to answering any questions I can with your guests. That was an amazing introduction from my cousin and my sister. I really appreciate it, and we're here to kind of talk about some of the things that have been going on when it comes to our finances. But a quick intro about me. I am born and raised proudly in Alabama. And I am I come from an extremely large family, which I'm very, very, very proud of. Just having those people that can fan your flames, in the words of Will Smith, it is an amazing opportunity to have that type of backup. And meeting you ladies helps because I have no blood relatives in the Metro Atlanta area. So it's good to have my cousin and my sister here to support me.
Awesome.
My background is information technology. I've run several different businesses. I've done a lot of different things in my career. But right now, my two main focuses is information technology, mainly cloud strategy or computer science and engineering. And then I also have a class called Wendy on Wealth. It's called the WOW Experience. And we talk everything about starting your personal finance to grow and expanding your business to enjoying your finances. So that's where Wendy on Wealth came. It came out of me doing speaking engagements around the country and actually around the world. So it's grown now into its own thing. And we're in our third year officially of Wendy on Wealth. And my IT business Next week will be 21 years. So
Wow.
that's major. Yeah, 1999. We started out, and I didn't even celebrate the 20 year. It went by in a blur, actually. But it's a great line of work right now to be in, because especially even with this climate, technology is king, and it has been for a minute. But my baby, like I said, is Wendy on Wealth. It helps me by having the basis of Wendy McGee and Associates, but then also the practicality of doing personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. So go ahead.
So Wendy, I'm sorry. What have you found as far as within our community, and with the basis of what you're seeing, experiencing within your family, or just colleagues or people that are around you, versus what you see outside with your colleagues and things of that such? What are you experiencing with that, and what can we do?
As far as personal finance or business in general?
Personal finance.
Well, this is one of the things too that I can tell you. If you look at the state of the economy now, some of the brands that we grew up with are going out of business. So they want you to think it's just us, the regular person, that don't manage our finances well. It's just us that don't plan for tomorrow. But we can see in the economy right now, JCPenney, Nordstrom, Macy's, these are 100-year-old companies, some of them, that are going out of business. Because guess what? They stretched themselves thin, and they banked on money that hasn't come in. You know what I mean? So I don't want us to beat ourselves up that we're the only ones that aren't managing our finances well. It's the climate that we live in. We're living, everybody, whether they want to believe it or want to admit it or not, are living paycheck to paycheck. And maybe my paycheck is $1,200 and yours is $12,000, but if we're both at zero at the end of the month, we're on an equal playing field, correct?
That's right. Yes.
So managing our money, and what I'm seeing out there is that we're not taught the basics. Everybody knows spend less than you earn and try to save, but there's more to it than that. There's more to it than that. I make $10, I spend $6. Well, what if your rent is $11? Before you get a dime, you're already under the gun, or you're already behind in your financial health. So we're in a climate right now to where, while we're home, is this perfect time that we're sheltered in place to do an actual take inventory of your spending. Take inventory of what it takes to be you. One of the first things in the Wendy on Wealth class that we do is that the first exercise is for my students to take a list and write down every penny that it takes to be them in a month. If you don't know within $100 what it takes to run your household, you're behind the 8 ball.
Wow.
Because you need to know that it takes $7,000 to run my household. I make $4,000. Either I got to reduce the cost of my household, or I need to get a better job, or I need to figure something out, or I need to let some things go. And using that, your financial health should be a daily, if not every other day, at least spot check. Did I overspend today? Go check. Let me go quickly. You can do it instead of playing your games on your phone. Most banks are on your phone. You can go out there and say, wow, I just spent XYZ at Target. Well, I only they double charged me for something. Go check. Make sure people make mistakes. Computers make mistakes. I work with them every day. But you need to understand your financial health. If not, you're going to be in the same situation as the JCPenney's and the Macy's. A lot of big companies that we're used to won't ever open again. They won't ever open again.
Yeah. We were actually just having this discussion yesterday. As you know, I'm in property management. And my particular company took over another branded company that's really big in the apartment industry. And they were known for just throwing things to people, the residents, just giving everything away. Oh, whatever you want, we'll give it to you. Renewal comes and, oh, we'll put new flooring in. We'll put granite countertops. And now they're bankrupt. And they were one of the leading in our industry at that time. So that's just a piggyback on what you're saying as far as within the economy and us watching our money, our dollar, and how it's spent.
Right. Well. And because we don't sometimes tend to, sometimes I when I talk to people about money and they say, well, Wendy, why do you think it is, especially I'm talking to Black people who look like us. I know that there are other people, but when we talk about us, we've been disproportionately poor since we were brought here. So when I look at what we've done, and I don't know about you guys' families, but we didn't discuss money. We didn't talk about how much money was coming in the house, how you manage money, how you save money. I saw my mom at the end of the week, usually on Thursday nights before she got paid on Friday, she would have a notebook and she would go through that notebook and put in whatever numbers and balance, or I decide I'm gonna pay this week and I'll wait on this. But she never talked to us about it. I saw her doing it, but she never discussed it with us. And in our family, and even amongst my friends, a lot of times discussing money is almost taboo. But let me just tell you this, everybody except the Black community talks about money. I've been in situations where there are white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, they talk about money. Is it always the topic? No, but it ends up going there. They talk about how they're going to make it, how they're going to save it, how they're going to spend it, how they went about building it and putting it together, how they could work together to build, all kinds of things when it comes to money. And we want us to open that dialogue and be comfortable with that dialogue. What I'm trying to alleviate, I don't call myself a wealth coach because I feel like coaches are on the sideline. I'm not on the sideline. I'm a teacher because I'm in the game. I'm your co-player. I'm your backup quarterback because I'm not a coach because I'm in the game. And I want people to think. And one thing about coaching is you constantly have to have it. I want to teach people what it is to spend their money, how to use their money so that we can build as a group. And when I'm not with you, you hear my voice in your ear, or you remember a technique about money that I shared with you, or you remember a lesson that I taught you about investing or entrepreneurship, or when you go to a bank to get a loan. I want to be your teacher and your teammate so that we are in the game together. I even think I'm going to change it to teammate because I don't want to be a coach. Coaches don't get in the game. And I really, a teacher you tend to move on from them. I want to be your teammate when it comes to building wealth.
Yes. Awesome.
Wendy, can you check your camera? I think it's getting a little fuzzy, a little blurry.
Okay, let me pull it. I got an old laptop. Let me see if I can clean it and if that'll make a difference. Or maybe it's the angle, the sun. Is it still fuzzy?
How does it look to you, Deidre?
Yep, so still a little bit fuzzy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in the dark because this room doesn't have good lighting. I apologize.
No, you're good. We want the people to be able to see you. That's all. That's my intention.
They want to see the blemishes.
The blush. You mentioned something that's very important. Growing up, most of us, we weren't taught about money. I remember my mother being a single parent ever since I was 2 years old, having to work, 3 jobs at one time. And, and she never talked about money other than when, we might've asked for something and, we got that because she didn't have it. But we weren't taught about finances. We weren't taught about wealth and credit and those types of things. So it's important for us to be connected to someone such as yourself. So let's talk about some of the other things that you teach in your class, Wendy on Wealth.
So the biggest thing, besides personal finance, I'd start with personal finance because you can't even invest in the stock market or real estate or start a business if your personal finance is not in order. So the first job is for you to get your personal finances in order. And once you do that, then we move into investing. So this has been a crazy bear market with COVID-19. So we did a huge lesson, actually 3 weeks on the stock market.
Mm.
You know, a lot of people are like, I am not touching that stock market. It's been in red for the last 3 months. No way. Well, I've made the most money I've made in a single year during this time.
Wow.
It's technically like a fire sale. If you guys remember those where there's like, okay, we got to just get rid of this stuff. Well, I'll give you an example. Tesla is one of my biggest positions in my stock portfolio. In February of this year, Tesla was around $900 a share. By the time the lockdown went into place, the end of March, Tesla had fallen to around $353 a share.
Wow.
It had lost over 60% of its value.
Mm.
When it lost 60% of its value, I went and bought more Tesla shares.
Mhm.
And the reason I did that, it was like getting Tesla on sale. It was like getting Tesla at 60% off.
Wow.
That's what it was like. It was getting it at 60% off. So I went and bought those shares. And guess what? I think Tesla closed close to $870 yesterday.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah. Am I still giving you guys grief with the photo, with the picture?
No,
It's looking,
better.
yeah, you were looking really good for a minute.
I turned the light off because I thought the light may have been giving me glare. I am sorry.
No,
You technically better set up than this.
yeah, but it's
My
yeah. So okay, so teaching them about investing. You said first they have to get their personal finances together, whether or not they
Right.
need to get another job, increase their cash flow.
Mhm.
That's where they have to start. And then, what about credit? Is that important today?
It is. It's because at this particular time, you know, after the downturn in the economy, when the real estate market bubble burst, everybody's credit took a hit in some way or another, from them raising the max to them just hitting people left and right and dropping their score, you know. But you do have to get your credit in order. And a lot of times people worry so much about if I'm paying my bills on time. I have one girl that was in my class. She paid all of her bills on time, but her credit score was still around the 600s. And the reason that is her credit utilization was high. A lot of times we don't even talk about that. We don't talk about how much you're spending. If you have a credit card and it has a $10,000 limit and you spent $88,000, your credit utilization is 80%. And they literally, to make you a good sound investment risk, they want to see you 25% or less.
Wow, that's good.
So you've got to work to get that credit utilization down. And that's one of the exercises we do in the class. We actually have a utilization contest where people start where they start, and the person that drops theirs the highest percentage, you know, I always give them a gift or cash or something like that, or free coach, or free session with me or whatever. So when you look at your credit utilization, 35% of your credit score is paying on time. 30% is credit utilization. So if you've paid on time, but your credit cards are maxed out, and you got a loan that you just took out, your utilization is going to kill your score.
Right.
You know, there's other things. There's a mix. If you only had revolving store credit cards, that's not a good mix. You need to have loans. You can have store credit cards, but I would be careful of them because the credit interest rates are so high.
Right.
You need bank credit cards. You need a good credit mix. They look at that around 10% to see, does she go out and do, or he go out and do different things when it comes to money.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when I started out, my credit when I got out of college was horrible. I was one of those people that didn't answer the phone because it was the creditors calling.
Right.
And I decided I needed to stop avoiding them and take responsibility.
Yeah.
So I just told them I don't have it. Okay, but how can I work it out? Well, I got myself back together, and then I was so excited. By the time I got to my 30s, I was in good shape financially, and guess what? It happened again. I went back to reckless spending, not keeping up with who I owed and what I owed.
Right.
Think about it this way. If you didn't get a bill either in your email or in your mailbox, would you remember or know what your bill is? What you owe? Would you know? Okay, so that is what this workbook does. You put together a workbook, so whether it gets lost in the mail or they don't send you an email, you know what you owe every month, and you take pride in saying, I know I can't go and get my hair done this week, or I can't go and buy me a new pair of shoes because I have this bill coming.
Right.
Yeah, that's
we even had for Lent this year. I was doing a class during the Lenten season, and we went on a spending fast. And what our spending fast does is that we speak each night about spending. I either send them a voicemail or a text about spending. And what we only buy are necessities.
Wow.
And then I had one person in my class this time. She went from 54% utilization down to 0.
Wow.
Paid off all of her credit cards and all of her loans. She's a single mother of 2 teenage boys living in California and a school teacher.
Wow.
So you hear you can even know the drama that is her life, right? Single mom of teenagers. You know, they eat the house, right? They just
the whole house.
The whole house and the driveway.
Yeah.
And then she's a teacher. So think about the stress she's dealing with now.
Yeah.
Of being a teacher, and then she's in California.
Yes.
Where a storage room costs $2,000 a month to live.
Wow.
But she did it, but she made sacrifices. I tell people to look at what you can cut out. Do you know? Not know she cut out coffee. That was one of my first things I cut. My Starbucks coffee cup. She cut out coffee, and now I make Jamaican Blue Mountain lovely in my own house.
Yeah.
$9 a pound versus $9 a cup.
Yeah.
Coffee money.
Yeah.
She cut out her direct.
Help me.
Help you. I'm trying to help, because that used to be me. And this is what I want people to understand about me. I'm just like you. Like I told you, I had money, lost money, had money again. I'm trying to maintain this time because I'm a little bit too far in life to have to start over again. But don't beat yourself up if you fall off the wagon. Don't beat yourself up if you're having a bad day and you got to have that $8 Starbucks. As long as it's not a habit, the habit should be watching your finances. The habit should be making sure that you are a good steward over your money. Whether you believe in God or not, you need to be a good steward over your money. You need to know where it is and where it's going. I believe you can, as long as you take time to understand where the money is going, the better you're going to be. And a lot of people didn't know where the bleeding was taking place. They didn't know. A lot of people left out insurance premiums. They were like, I never have any money, but my numbers say I should have X amount. I'm like, well, what about insurance?
Right.
What about that $20 you just gave your kid to put gas in the car?
Right. Yeah. That's true.
You know, And when I talk about investing, I want you to get stocks that pay dividends.
Wow.
You know, they need to be giving some of your money back if they're making money. I want you to get credit cards that give you bonus perks or points or something you can use. Every vacation I've taken, not work-wise travel, but vacation-wise, I use some kind of travel perk that I've gained, be it Sky Miles or airline miles, hotel points, rental cars. I do great vacations on money I've already spent. So those are some of the things that can get you financially stable. You know, watch where you're going, watch what you're spending your money on. And if you know that you look at your spreadsheet and you say, I still don't know where this money is going, go look in your wallet. Go start taking stock of how do you have a bunch of cash? And I'm the worst with cash. I never put it in my wallet because I never know where it is. I was in South Africa for 3 months and I had $180 when I got there, US. And when I came back with $64. Now, yeah, it was a pandemic, but at least I was cognizant about what that money was, where it started and where it ended.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
And that's a big, let me tell you, that last point, like, will totally change my life. I know, because I've had to do some adjustments, even with lunch at work every day, eating out every day. And you go back, you look at the end of the month on how much money, and it's just, and it's not healthy, but that's another show. But just that, just that amount of money, I couldn't believe it. So prep meals, here I come, you know? But that's those little things that you're speaking of.
And you don't even think about it because we all love, as my 5-year-old niece says, chicken fillet. We all love chicken fillet. But chicken fillet gonna cost you $10.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But to me, it's a guilty pleasure. And I don't do it that often. And it's funny because my sisters say I'm cheap, but I'm not cheap. I'm just frugal because I know tomorrow is coming and it's coming in a rainstorm. And if you're not ready for the rain, it's going to rain on your head. That's so you need to be ready. You know, I love that line from The Color Purple. It's like,
it's going to rain on your head.
And if you don't fix it, it's going to rain on your head. So even though the sun is nicely shining, you got money in the bank, you're doing well, the rain's coming. It may not be a typhoon, but the rain is coming. Your car's going to break. Something in the house is going to break. We woke up yesterday and the sprinkler is just on. We don't know why. I don't even think it was plugged. It's just on. Why is the sprinkler on with all this rain we had? Now that's another big. So you have to be ready. And what I was just saying to Deetra about the food thing, I love to cook. So that is different. If you hate to cook, it's probably going to be a bit harder for you. But anything I like to eat, I've learned to cook.
Wow.
And that's one of the segments in our class, you know, is we talk about food. Right. We talk about money that you can save with food. I cook. My friend Sean is a Facebook chef, and I have Sean come on and show you how to make some of your favorite restaurant meals. How many of us have gone out to get that $30 salmon and asparagus and garlic mash? You know, or lobster tails. My thing is lamb. And y'all know lamb costs $100 for 2 pieces. But I've learned to make lamb. I have lamb in my refrigerator right now that I put on the grill. And I may have paid $18 for it, but I can eat 2 meals off $18. Wow. But I can't do that, you know, and we talk about food. And what we also talk about are not just don't do this and don't spend that and don't go buying yourself this. We don't just talk about that. We talk about how to manage your finances and get you in the place you want to be. You may not be where I am, where you are, Deetra, where you are, Charmaine, but you have to define your wealth path for yourself.
Wow.
Because your wealth goal may be to have a 2-bedroom apartment or condo and 1 car. But then someone else's may be, I want a house in the south of France, you know, with a boat outside. And that's fine. But as long as you know where you're going, it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing.
That's
You got to do it for you. And a lot of times people don't want to talk to me about money because they said they're embarrassed. Why are you embarrassed?
Wow.
I'd rather you talk to me about it now than get in trouble with money later. And then my nephew also said, he said that black people in general don't tend to talk about money because we don't have any. And that's a lie. You do have some. You may not have more than most, but you got some, because if you didn't have any, you wouldn't be living, because it takes money to live. I don't care if you're getting it from the government or you getting it from a family member. Everybody has money in their hands at some point in time. And you can manage it as long as you take the time to learn to manage it. You can manage $1. It's better if you manage your $10. When you get your $10 million, if you apply those same rules, you're in business. You're in business.
Yes. I remember years ago, I met this young lady that was from one of the islands. I can't remember which one, but she was a millionaire. And one of the things that she said to me is that when she goes into a store, she'll ask herself the question, is this a want or is it a need?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And she said, if it's something that she just wants, she doesn't purchase it. But if it's a need, she gets it. And I mean, it was amazing to me, just something as simple as that, hearing something as simple as that, really made a difference in my life.
And you know what? I agree with that 100%, especially when you're getting your finances together, and you're going to get to a point where they're on point, and you can go in and even buy that want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I do not recommend, just like in dieting, I don't recommend you starving yourselves of the financial pleasures of life.
Right.
I don't recommend you saying, because the more you say no to yourself, you beat yourself down. You beat yourself down as that. And then you're mad because you work with these crazy people all day and you can't even get yourself a latte.
Like,
and
please, can I have a latte?
Can I get a latte? But you're mad about that because you're like, I've worked 40 hours this week and I don't deserve a latte. Yes, you do. But you don't deserve a latte every day. And some days you're going to have to suck it up.
Yeah.
You're going to have to suck it up. I was in South Africa and everyone was saying, oh, are you struggling in South Africa? It's so no. I was living better there than I am here. Wow. And my friends there, everyone says, oh, Wendy, I'm sure you're getting the best African garb and dresses and earrings and necklaces. My business partner is a Hermes lady. She is not, she is labels, Gucci, Ferragamo, Hermes. She got Hermes slides, house shoes.
Wow.
Exactly. So I said that to say, you got to decide what works for you. Right. When we signed our first contract, she said, what are you going to buy yourself? We decided when we signed this contract, we're going to buy each other gifts.
Yeah.
Or buy ourselves a gift. And I was like, oh, okay. So I found this lovely Gucci bag that was like $2,000 that I was going to buy myself. She pulls out a picture of a $30,000 watch. And I was like, that's a car, but that's her reality. It's not mine, but that's her reality. And I can't judge her for that. Right. Her house is 25,000 square feet. She has a staff of 5 who cooks, cleans, drives, and does everything. I told her when my help is left and right hands. But it's your situation. And I said that to say, I don't want to deprive you of your 40-hour week latte reward, just like I wouldn't deprive some of my millionaire clients and friends of their trip to Vegas to shop or their trip to New York to shop, because that's their reality. And you can't measure your pocketbook by someone else's.
Yeah.
Mind your own money. And then don't worry about anybody else. Now,
mind your own money.
Mind your own money. Because if you're sitting over there looking at me or looking at you, you don't know what it took for us to get to where we are. Right. You don't know if, like me, I'm up around the clock. I got clients in 4 time zones. Wow. So while you're sleeping or watching you know, The Masked Singer or whatever you watch on TV. I'm up on a computer. That's probably what's wrong with this screen, because it's running hot for some reason. But you know, you don't know what it takes for people to get to where they are. But what I want to teach you is that the way to get to where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Right.
why it's not coaching. It's to teach you how to get to where you want to go. I can't tell you what the winning score is. Oh, that's good. I'm going to have to write that down.
Yes.
I can't tell you what the winning score is. Right?
Right.
Right.
I'm all right. I'm serious. I'm going to use that.
Yes. You did. It was good. It was good.
Because if I'm playing soccer
Mhm.
and you're playing baseball, the scores are different.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
even though they're mostly in both of those games, single digits most of the time,
Mhm.
but you may run over, I'm gonna go play basketball. That 2-0 don't get me anywhere in basketball.
Right.
So you have to determine what the winning score is for you.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, and I learned some things about myself. I think I may have even shared this with either Deetra or Charmaine. But when I was away, I thought I was a simple person. I really did. I thought I lived simply. You know, I thought I was easy like Sunday morning, as they say, and I'm really not. I realized that I like certain things. And in order for me to maintain those things, I have to work or I have to have money.
Yeah.
And I said, one of the things about money is it needs to be doing two things. It needs to be working for you
Mhm.
or bringing you enjoyment.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't believe only working is the way.
Right.
Because if you have money in your savings account and you want to go and take your best friend or your kids or something out for a nice day, that's bringing you enjoyment. And you deserve that.
Right.
Money shouldn't stress you out. Money shouldn't be the thing that brings you grief. It should complement your life. Just
Yes.
like a good mate. They shouldn't bring drama. It should complement your life.
Right.
You know, and that's what it should be. So
So I've heard that for those that are interested in building wealth, and maybe working a 9-to-5 job, you working alone will not get you wealth. That you've got to work as well as invest.
right.
How true is that?
Yes, it's very true. And another thing about money is it'll work harder for you than you will for it.
Mm.
So one of the things is that you shouldn't be to become wealthy, you can't just earn money.
Mhm.
To become wealthy, you have to make money. And
Mm.
everybody, oh, that's the same thing. It is not.
Mhm.
Earning money is trading hours for dollars.
Mm.
You earn a paycheck because you give them 40 hours a week and they give you a paycheck. That's hours for dollars. 40 hours a week for $4,000 paycheck.
Right.
Making money is investing in the stock market, investing in real estate. That money is working for you while you're sleeping.
Mhm.
So you're making money. Making, like when you make a cake, you take a lot of ingredients together and you put it in the oven and it works it out and it comes out to be a cake. It's making money that will gain you wealth, because you can't stay up all day and all night, Wendy McGee. You got to go to sleep sometime. But while you're sleeping, you need money working for you. I would never at this point in my life put my money in anything that doesn't make money for me.
Mhm.
Remember, I said it needed to be working or
Right.
bringing you joy.
Right.
And it, like for me, at this point in my life, I don't have a want nor a need.
That's
I
good.
try to think of things I should buy myself or places I should go, what I should do for friends, what I should do for family. And I can honestly tell you that what Wendy needs is almost next to nothing.
Mm.
Right. So what do I do in the meantime? I try to build to where I can share the wealth. But everybody can't go with you, right? So you have to put it out there and available to people if they want to listen.
Right.
And when you working for your money and you're coming together, like you said, Charmaine, it's just like you've got to be ready to put in the work but then you also got to be ready to put it in somewhere where it will work for you.
Right.
There's an order to things. Yeah.
There is a certain theory that's out that you should finance, I hope I get this correct, finance your needs and purchase your wants.
Finance your needs and purchase your wants.
Purchase your wants. And can you kind of, when I looked at that personally myself, and try to put that dynamic or that particular theory to work in my personal, I didn't find it that successful for me per se, because there aren't a lot of things that at this particular moment in my life that I'm financing at the time. I know that when you get to a certain level, or if you can elaborate and help me with that particular theory of financing and how that sits you or puts you in a place financially, and if it's a benefit or if it's not a benefit. I know that we need a certain amount of credit, and credit is very important to obtain. But what is that theory concerning finance?
Okay. So I've actually not heard that, but just trying to digest it off the cuff. I can see the positivity both ways. But if we go with just what you're saying, finance your needs and purchase your wants, I can look at it in a positive spin by saying, credit built this country, right? Credit is like giving someone your word you're going to do something. So if I know I need a place to live and I need a car, I would say finance it, because you are determined it's a necessity, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to make sure the bills are paid. So I can agree with that. Finance your needs. Now, when it comes to purchasing your wants, I can even ride with that as well, because think about it this way. Just like what Charmaine said earlier, you walk into a store and you determine if it's a need or a want. And if it's a want, you need to think about, okay, if I take this money to cash buy this want, how does that affect my finance need?
Right.
So I can actually, I actually can go with that, because if you finance those things, because you know you're going to have a place to live, you need a car, and wherever, things like that. I can actually deal with using that strategy to build your wealth. The biggest part of it is the discipline on the want side.
Yes.
You have got to be disciplined on the want side, meaning just because I walk into Ferragamo and there's a purse that I want and I have a credit card that can buy it, should I? Just because you can, don't mean you should.
Good. That's good.
Awesome.
So if you are disciplined enough on the want side, I could go with that, Deidre. Really can, because you gotta have credit. I was always that person. When I pay off these bills, I'm not getting any more credit. That's not the way. Even now, like for my lines of credit for my business, I really don't need it, but I go and get it just to get it. Even if I just keep it for 3 months and then pay it all back. I want my creditors and my banking relationships to see that I'm a person of my word. If you give me $50,000, you don't have to worry about if it's coming back, because you know I'm going to pay you back, because my track record shows that. Or if I get 50,000 and I hit a snag, you know that that's not normally who Wendy is, and you will give me a little bit more of a break.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because even with credit cards, I normally don't do store credit cards. This lady who shops for me at Dillard's, she convinced me. She was like, Wendy, if you get a store credit card, when things come in for you, I can go ahead and charge them and send them to you. Because of my travel schedule, I thought that was a good idea. Well, she got some stuff for me over the holidays. I don't really buy a bunch of things. And I forgot to pay the bill. So the bill went $30 days late. It dropped my score 53 points.
Wow.
For one 30-day late. I've not been late in 15 years on anything. but that one thing, because it was like, whoa, what happened here? It dropped my score because I wasn't paying attention. But then if I think about it, that Dillard's card is unnecessary in the grand scheme of things. It's unnecessary. It was necessary for her. And I got sick of her talking, so I probably just did it anyway. The thing about it is I got an American Express card who's going to send me a reminder to say, hey, this is not like you. And they've called me before, like when I was out of the country. They're like, Miss McGee, are you in blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, yeah. They were like, well, we're just checking. But Dillard's didn't do that. And it affected my credit score that I'm still trying to recover. But what I did was I called them and I said, hey, this was an oversight on my part. If you look at my record, I've never been late. And then they corrected it. But if I wouldn't have shown them a pattern of success or a pattern of trustworthiness, they would be like, no, you'd be late every other month. Girl, get out of here. They saw that. So financing your needs and paying cash for your wants, I could see that as long as you're disciplined. I really can. Yeah.
And just to say, I was thinking about how some of us, we run from building credit, but there are those in other cultures who will build credit and pass that credit along to their children and their children's children by adding their children on as authorized users, even when they're in high school, so that by the time they go to college, they have perfect credit and are able then to stand on their own. What do you think about that?
I agree with that. You guys are really good. I know you haven't seen my curriculum, but I have a whole session. Actually, it's 2 sessions on family and finance and children and finances. And one of my students from this past session, she has 2 sons. One is about to go off to college, and she said, "What did I think about getting him a credit card?" And I told her I thought it was great. And they were like, "He's irresponsible." I said, "How do you know? He's never had one before." You give him the credit card, but don't give it to him and just let him run off. Give it to him and teach him the rules. Teach him how that works. Because what we don't do is we don't talk about it and we don't teach it. How do you expect these kids to know if you didn't take time to do it? Or if you don't know, get them to somebody who does. And that's one of the things we're talking about doing as well, is just doing a class just for young adults, meaning from the age of like 16 when they get their first job up to like 21 when they are about to get out of college. So 16 to 21, we're going to start talking to them about money. Because if you're just the ATM, they don't understand how money works. If you're paying their car payment, they don't know that the car payment is due on the 5th, but it's best to pay it by the 1st or the 2nd. They don't know that, you do have a grace period, but if you take that grace period, there's a late fee, which costs you money. So they don't know that there are annual fees for a lot of credit cards. So we have to teach them. And you don't want to send them out unprepared, just like you don't want to send your black son out unprepared about what goes on with the police. Why would you send them out with a credit card without being prepared?
And also, even with having them as an authorized user, you don't necessarily have to give them the card, but you can have them on, and as you are paying your bill, it will also report on their credit as well.
And if they go out and buy something you told them not to, just by the click of a mouse, you can cut their access off. Real quick. Because I can tell you, my nephew is on my business, has a business credit card, right? And he's allowed to do things for me. But if he does something I don't like, I literally can do it on my phone.
Yeah, that's true.
And that is the same thing they're going to do to your kid. They'll cut it off if they're not doing right. So why shouldn't you?
That's true.
Why shouldn't you? And the thing is that, you guys, money is not, the concept of money is not that hard. The discipline of money is extremely difficult.
Absolutely.
It's extremely difficult. It's difficult for me And I've been successful for a lot of years. But there's sometimes I get on this, just like I done had 20 boxes delivered and I've been back in the States for 14 days tomorrow.
Wow.
And I done had all these boxes delivered. They done brought 2 today. And I said, you know what? You got to do something else. You got to stop that. It's not necessary. But we all fall off. But the key is getting back on. And my fall with these 2 little, I think it was $40 things that I bought, $40 for me, and okay, I'll get it back. But $40 for somebody else could be their cable bill or their water bill. So you got to find out where you are. And if I could stress anything, do not, I repeat, do not get hung up on what everybody else has.
Yes.
Because I found, especially in this time of Corona and all of that, that the people who I thought had a lot of money, they don't have any money.
Yeah.
They don't have any money.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I've even had clients, tech clients. I'm like, where's my money? Oh, we're gonna send you a check. That should have been my first thing, not to take a check. Wow. Why is my direct deposit not coming like it should? They have no money.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't want the little man to think that it's just them.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is very important, that financial literacy be taught, especially, I mean, I wish they were teaching it in school, so that when kids are coming out, they would, if they didn't get it at home, they got it in school. But for those of us who didn't get it either place, I mean, here you are with this incredible training program class that we all can get involved with, get enrolled with, and have you as a financial mentor so that we can now obtain wealth if that's what our goal is, or to even retire better.
Right. And you don't want to be a Walmart greeter at the end of the day. That's not going to be me. I just
no.
And I'll make the sacrifices now to not be standing on my feet. I took my nieces to California for spring break one year, and they wanted to stay in Beverly Hills, and they wanted to go to the Kardashian store. So a friend of mine has a place in Beverly Hills. We stay in Beverly Hills, rooftop deck, lemon tree in the yard, the whole 9.
Right.
Beverly Hills. Yes. We go to Roddenberry Farms. It's like an amusement park, right? And we're sitting down and we're having dinner. And I tell Zion, I said, you see that man over there? And she was like, the old dude? I said, yeah. I said, that right there is a life lesson. And she was like, what are you talking about? I said, you see a 60-plus-year-old man who can barely move waiting tables. Actually, he wasn't even waiting tables. He was clearing the dishes.
Wow.
He was clearing the dishes when he should have been somewhere fishing.
Yeah.
Who knows? The thing is, he could have been great at his job or anything, but he wasn't prepared, or he could have had a catastrophic incident happen. You remember, if you don't cover the roof, it's going to rain on your head.
That's right.
So you have to make sure that you're prepared for these things. And how do you get it? If you don't know, ask.
Yeah.
And if you don't ask, and that's what kills me about people who know me. Most people know from whence I came. It's not like I was born with a proverbial silver spoon in my mouth. Right. I work towards this. And do I fall? I fall frequently. I failed this week with all these stupid Amazon packages. But I will get back on track and I will keep going. You know, you got to keep going. And what I want to do is let people know it's all right to talk about money. It's all right to have conversations about things you don't understand. But what I tend to get is people get themselves in a fix and then they call me and like, oh my God, I got this huge tax bill. Oh my God, they're about to foreclose on my house. Oh, I just went and bought this car, 25% interest. You got to suck it up after you've made the decision without thinking it through.
Right, that's true.
But let's talk about
how do people get enrolled into one of your classes, and when do you have the next classes? And I mean, give us some information about getting involved with Wendy on Wealth?
Yeah. So Wendy on Wealth is on Facebook. We post something every day. Some of it's funny, some of it's about money. Some of it is just inspirational when it comes to your day-to-day financial life. So it's Wendy on Wealth on Facebook, and we post everything there. Class schedule, cost, and the we call it the WOW experience. That's what the classes are called. So the next WOW experience starts the second week of June. I have to look at the calendar for the date, but everything is on Facebook, Wendy on Wealth. And not only do we talk about money, we have lifestyle classes. I have a sommelier come in and talk about wine. I have a car guy come in and talk about cars. I have a person who talks fashion. Like I said, I have Sean that does food, just everything about living your best life using the finances that you have. So it's not just negative, don't do this and don't do that. It's really fun. And we do have like discussion questions and we do fun stuff. I show you different things, some fun stuff, some inexpensive way to do things, some expensive ways to do things, how to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And we even have what we call a wealth confession that we say at the beginning of every class. About being a good steward over your money, and it's your birthright to have wealth and riches. It's something that we chant in our heads to keep us focused on building wealth. So Wendy on Wealth on Facebook.
I am signing up. Okay, I'll be ready, fun. And I'm going straight to Facebook. Wendy on Wealth to find the schedule, all the wonderful things, and you all should join me as well so that we can build. And what else, Wendy?
Build, enjoy, and grow together. Because let me tell you, I don't want to be the only one in first class. I don't want to be the only one that can
talk about it.
I don't want to be the only one that can go to the airport and just pick a place to go. We should all be doing that together.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want us to someone told me once, you can't be an island of rich in the sea of broke. And that means it's on you to make a difference in other people's lives. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I used to do the class for free, but people don't appreciate free. So I do it very inexpensively. Most of the time, 2 people can go 12 weeks for $150.
Oh,
good.
So $75 per person. Right. I do that to keep people engaged. And I videotape the lessons. So if you happen to miss it and it's online, I use Amazon Chime. And we record it and it's interactive. People can talk to one another. It's really good. Even if I say so myself. It's really
if I do say so myself.
and I mean, the money talk is almost like the sex talk. It's a hard thing to do. Yeah. But I want people to know that I am you. And who knows, I won't be you again. I want you guys to do better than me. And if I don't know, I say I don't know. That's why I bring in my friend who owns 200 properties. I bring in my friend who's an accountant, my own personal accountant. My lawyer comes and we talk about business setup, and they do it for free to talk to people, to get people on board, and understand their finances. So this is a great thing. And I promise I'm going to get a better camera. I'm going to have to work on that.
We're going to definitely have you back on again, because this is a very important subject. And it, like you said, it's taboo in a number of households and family. We've got to break through all of those curses that we've grown up with, so that we could create financial wealth within our community. And it's one of the things that Deidre and I are now involved with the Ujamaa program with Glenda Williams. And we're going to have her on hopefully soon, so that she can talk about that as well. But building wealth within our community and just bringing our resources together. So again, Wendy on Wealth with Ms. Wendy McGee and Associates. And we love you. We thank you so much for coming on our show. Again, this is our third show that Deidre and I have done. And
I'm so proud of you guys. It's great.
Thank you so much. We're looking forward to continuing this Real Women Atlanta live radio talk show, and we'll be here next week, same time, same place. We'd like to thank our station manager, Raheem. Thank you for all the great work that you do and supporting us and encouraging us. We love you, and we'll see you guys next week, 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Wendy.
Bye. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great weekend.
You too.